My video for March the 26th, 2020 is video number 3407. The title is Spiritual Fruit, Not Religious Nuts. Truth and Justice, Not Politics. For many years now, I have had a bumper sticker on my 2001 car that has drawn lots of attention and comments. I got it from a friend. It says, God wants spiritual fruit, not religious nuts. Reverend David Duke gave it to me, but I have not heard from him in a long time. As I was driving back from my daily walk in the park, I thought this would be relevant. Honest people want truth and justice, not political or religious arguments. As with everything else in our distorted culture, religion and politics do not inspire rational thought. They are emotionally charged subjects. One of my prayers is that we find a way to get beyond the controversies and overcome the prejudices and biases that separate us. While I'm at it, let me talk about why I think the downgrading of the coronavirus is not being broadcast by mainstream media. It requires some discernment and wisdom that many seem to lack. Yes, once again, I had someone comment. I'm standing there coming back to my car after my walk in the park, and there's a couple people standing there looking at my bumper stickers. Now, for a long time, I backed into the parking spaces so that people didn't see my bumper stickers, but that's changed recently. And now, once again, I saw my bumper stickers, and I have lots of them on the back of my vehicle, not just on the bumper. And there's lots of sayings on them. I'm not going to go into I don't even remember all of them right now anyway. But in any case, that's the one that stands out to people, and it's probably one of the oldest ones on my car. It's probably been there since the car was relatively new. I don't remember exactly when I put it there, and I don't even really remember much about Reverend David Duke. I know I met him once, but it was a long time ago, and I think I still have a bumper sticker that's not on my car of the same bumper sticker. I think I have it somewhere. I couldn't put my finger on it right now, but I think it's in one of my places where I have old papers and stuff stored. Anyway, we live in a world where there is such a huge amount of dissension. People have trouble having arguments over, discussions rather, over anything without it turning into an argument. And I don't like arguments. Headbutting gets nowhere, as I've said so many times. We need to be able to sit down and have rational conversations. But you can't do that when there's an emotional charge on the subject you're dealing with. If it's religion, there's a bunch of people that think, well, my religion is the true one. It's the one that's the right one, and my job is to get people to believe like me. No, it's not. I know people are going to disagree with that, but it's not to get people all on the same page as to which of the many religions is the right one. In fact, in Christianity, there are a whole bunch of people that claim to be Christians that have very, very different opinions as to what is important and what isn't. And it doesn't just end with religion. It's the whole political scene. And in fact, it's the whole world human culture that has become nothing but a battlefield of ideas, where we butt heads with each other and even start physical wars with each other, and murder and mayhem and all sorts of crimes against life itself are waged continuously. Look at the world. I'm not making this stuff up. And, you know, I watched the whole political thing in the United States going on with Trump and the great division between Republicans and Democrats, and none of that means a thing to me, because the terms Democratic Party or Republican Party are meaningless to me. Are you willing to think outside the box? Are you willing to embrace the truth that the things that separate us are not the important issues? That's something we need to come to grips with if we're going to rise out of the great cesspool of deception that has created such division everywhere. And it's the money masters that are at the root of the problem. And the money masters may, in fact, be demons, or at least demon possessed. That's the swamp that has to be drained. And I still root for Donald Trump to accomplish that. Now, the coronavirus, let's talk about that a little bit. It came to our attention in the United States with this outbreak in Wuhan, China. And there's been a lot of information come forth about how it got there. And Wuhan, China is an industrial city, from what I understand, and there's lots of pollution there. And it's been controlled there. It's been brought under control at the center, and people are going back to work, but not in the United States. In the United States, many places are still under lockdown. Now, there's some amount of freedom that's still where I live. You can still go shopping. I can still go for my walks in the park. I can still carry on most of my activities. I have stocked up a little bit on some food items that are non-perishable, so that I at least can sustain myself if they actually do put us on lockdown, where we're not supposed to even go outside. And that's a dangerous thing too, because from the sun we get a lot of vitamin D, and that helps with viruses and things like that. And that's not even the issue, because viruses don't kill. In fact, nobody's ever seen a virus under a microscope, because it's an energy. It's not even a substance. Anyway, the mainstream media continues to put forth the things that divide us. They want division because they thrive on the angst and the argumentation and the mental warfare and spiritual warfare that goes on when people are on their ego mind trip, trying to convince others that they are right, and butting heads and not even able to meet in the middle and find the common ground that enables them to see how we are all the same, not different. It has nothing to do with political affiliation or religious belief or color of our skin or which country we come from or what language we speak. These things are all insignificant things, and yet they are the very things that drive wedges between us, and we need to somehow grow up and get out of this conundrum that has been perpetrated on humanity for a very, very long time. We have to reach a place where we are discerning, because discernment is the beginning of wisdom. You say, wait a minute, what spirit is behind this? It's the spirit of competition is for sports, not for life. We shouldn't be competing for life. It's okay, in my opinion, to compete in sporting events, but that's where the competition needs to stop. We need to learn to embrace one another, and that means we need to listen to each other. We need to hear and understand where the other person is coming from. I hope you take time to consider what I'm saying. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.